Did Kari Lake just get another shot at flipping the Arizona governor's race from 2022? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. Kari Lake, who nominally lost the governor's race in Arizona last midterms, got another shot this week. For the first time, a higher court has said that a lower court wrongly decided an issue with her election challenge. This represents a real chance of forcing a rerun of the election, especially because she lost so narrowly. Before I dive into what the Arizona Supreme Court actually said and why this opens a door for Kari Lake, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. And be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, especially this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which quotes Aldous Huxley as saying, "Facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored," which has been the problem with this case from the beginning. One more thing, if you like what you're about to see, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, do you see the new icon, the heart shape with a US dollar sign in it? That's the super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. Now then, in her initial election challenge, Kari Lake raised 10 issues, any one of which could have swayed the election. Judge Peter Thompson of the Maricopa County Superior Court dismissed all but 2 misprinted ballots that misaligned in the scanner tabulators and manipulation of the rolls of inactive voters. Lake's team forced the other side into some embarrassing admissions, and I talked about that before. Well, unfortunately, Judge Thompson didn't find those admissions embarrassing enough. Accordingly, Lake took her case first to the Arizona Court of Appeal and finally to the Arizona Supreme Court. By the time her case reached the Arizona Supreme Court, she was pressing only 7 of her original issues. I have a link in the description to a copy of the Arizona Supreme Court's ruling in case CV 23-0046PR, or Lake versus Hobbs. The Arizona Supreme Court dismissed most of the 7 issues Lake raised, but the one issue the High Court allowed was an old issue Judge Thompson had dismissed very early. Lake alleged that Maricopa County election officials did not follow procedure on signature verification for early and absentee ballots. Well, apparently Judge Thompson in his first order dismissed this count, saying Lake waited too long to challenge the signature verification procedures themselves. The Arizona Supreme Court said, no, Judge Thompson, you're mistaken. Kari Lake was not saying that the signature verification rules were somehow unfair. Rather, she said election officials did not handle signature verification according to those rules. At issue in the court's ruling is a doctrine called latches, which you pronounce like latches on a door, and which means neglect of duty or missing an opportunity. The time to challenge the validity of a rule or law was before the election took place, but if officials did not obey the rule or law, well, no candidate could have predicted that in advance. The court said, quote, issue number 6 asks, did the panel err in dismissing the signature verification claim on latches, mischaracterizing Lake's claim as a challenge to existing signature verification policies when Lake in fact alleged that Maricopa failed to follow these policies during the 2022 general election? In count 3 of her complaint, which alleged a violation of Arizona Revised Statute Section 16550A, petitioner alleged in paragraph 151, quote, upon information and belief, a material number of early ballots cast in the November 8, 2022 general election were transmitted in envelopes containing an affidavit signature that the Maricopa County recorder or his designee determined did not match the signature in the putative voter's registration record. The Maricopa County recorder nevertheless accepted a material number of these early ballots for processing and tabulation, close quote. Contrary to the ruling of the trial court and the Court of Appeals opinion, this signature verification challenge is to the application of the policies, not to the policies themselves. Therefore, it was erroneous to dismiss this claim under the doctrine of laches, because Lake could not have brought this challenge before the election, close quote. Accordingly, the Arizona Supreme Court vacated that part of the Court of Appeals opinion and remanded the case to Judge Thompson's court. Now Kari Lake's team will have a chance, or they should have a chance, to examine those envelopes and their signatures. They can then check them against the voter rolls. Now, true enough, this does not grant any further examination of the issues with scanner tabulators or ballot on-demand printers, but it does address the signature verification issue, which alone could have skewed the outcome. Before I tell you how, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is oursilverlines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You are not alone. The fluctuating economy, employment issues, and unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides, either way, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlines.com to learn how you can build a legacy to your future. Now, as I said, the Arizona Supreme Court opened a key door to Kari Lake. That trial judge might now have to let Kari Lake's team see those envelopes with the signatures. And furthermore, the court seemed to address burdens of proof. The trial court must, and I quote, determine whether the claim that Maricopa County failed to comply with ARS Section 16550A fails to state a claim pursuant to Arizona Rule of Civil Procedure 12B6 for reasons other than laches, or whether petitioner can prove her claim as alleged pursuant to ARS Section 16672 and establish that votes were affected in sufficient numbers to alter the outcome of the election based on a competent mathematical basis to conclude that the outcome would plausibly have been different, not simply an untethered assertion of uncertainty. Opinion paragraph 11, close quote. A competent mathematical basis to conclude that the outcome would plausibly have been affected is a far lesser burden than Judge Thompson imposed at trial. He asked Kari Lake to prove beyond a reasonable doubt and to a moral certainty that the outcome was the reverse of what it should have been. Now he must allow a lesser burden by competent mathematical analysis backing a plausible result other than the certified one. Now here's the thing. Kari Lake allegedly lost that election by 17,000 votes statewide. If, therefore, she finds significantly more than 17,000 absentee or early ballots with bad signatures, then she has the competent mathematical basis. Ella Ford at Finish the Race has several Twitter tweets that would indicate that the Kari Lake team should be able to find those 17,000 or more ballots easily. Specifically, the influencer Draino left a shocker of a thread. I have links in the description to the first and third tweet. Now I'm going to quote the whole thing. "Whoa," he says, "the Arizona Supreme Court just overruled the trial court, and now Kari Lake's team can conduct signature verification of Maricopa ballots. Tens of thousands of signatures were approved in violation of legal requirements. This could be the thread that unravels the Maricopa fraud." The Gateway Pundit reported on an investigation and presentation in the Arizona Senate Elections Committee, which estimated that nearly 300,000 ballots in 2022 would fail signature verification standards. Ballot signatures are the only way of proving that a ballot was cast by a real voter, unquote Draino, who ended by quoting a tweet from the Gateway Pundit linking to their report on this ruling. Now just think about this. If that Gateway Pundit report is accurate, Maricopa County is 300,000 ballots out of trust on signature verification alone. Now how's Katie Hobbs' victory looking now? A Rasmussen poll asking straight out for whom Arizonans voted further suggests that Kari Lake could indeed have that competent mathematical basis. WorldNet Daily reports that Lake won that poll, 51% to 43%. Candidates Abe Hamadeh and Mark Fincham for Attorney General and Secretary of State, respectively, also won this late exit poll. Now, Blake Masters, the Senate candidate, did not win his exit poll. So, his results provide an internal control on the other results. It suggests that Arizonans split their ticket. They did not vote straight Republican or straight Democratic. Arizona's legislature stayed in Republican hands. Now that provides an external control. A Rasmussen representative appeared on a show calling itself Absolute Truth. I have a link in the description to a video of that segment in which he says, something's wrong. You want to know the really sad part of this business? It's that courts simply do not like to overturn elections, even if the evidence is palpable and conclusive that those elections were conducted in a manner that didn't follow procedure. Now, maybe the courts just don't want the responsibility, but the Arizona Supreme Court just told a lower court that they made an unforced error. That opens a door that the political left did not want open. Governor Hobbs has been definitely silent. Links in the description of the article, to the decision, to DC Draino's thread, to that segment on Absolute Truth, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to oursilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to a new Kari Lake Election Challenge playlist, that Rasmussen Absolute Truth segment, and one other video by another influencer describing this ruling. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.